Hi, I'm Corey Jones. I'm the president of Cryptozoic Entertainment, and in this video we're going to go ahead and walk you through our latest board game, which is The Walking Dead. We're super excited about it, and we're really happy to have the chance to show you what's inside the box. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up and give you a look at the components. So, Walking Dead is a tremendous hit for AMC. It's a television show based on a comic book by Robert Kirkman, and the program has had huge ratings, a giant success. If you're not watching it, you should be. It's absolutely brilliant and one of the best zombie-related things that I think has ever been made. So here at Cryptozoic, when we saw the first season, we got super excited and thought about what could we do with that property. And the first thing, of course, that popped into our mind, because we're a board game company, is to make a board game out of it. So that's what we did. We approached the group that handles The Walking Dead and put together a whole big pitch, and we were able to secure the license. So we started working on a board game. Now I'm going to go ahead and open this up and walk you through the components of that board game. But I will say the first thing we do whenever we pick up a property to turn into a board game, or we're working on trading card sets or comic books, the first thing we do is what we call top-down design, which is look at the property and look at the audience and figure out what is going to best represent the brand, the story, the creative in the property, and what is going to best resonate with that consumer, with that fan. Because like I say in all these videos, our motto is fans first, meaning we're fans of the properties that we pick up, and we make sure that our fans come first. And so that top-down design really relates back into what I'm talking about with fans first. So, some of the stuff in the package, there's some pass-along advertising for the Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Zombies by Matt Mock book. There's the rule book, which we'll go into in a second. The next piece of this video is actually going to be bringing in a couple other people of Cryptozoic, Matt Hyra, one of our game designers, and Scott Gata. And we'll bring them in and they're going to play the game with me, and we're going to teach you how to play it. So you won't need the rule book. But we do have a giant full-color rule book in here that makes it real easy to learn how to play the product. Absolutely a great place to reference back to when you are playing the product as well. So inside we have map tiles. Map tiles is a generic term for the big punch-out cardboard pieces you see in these games. The way this game works is you actually get to choose one of the survivors to play as, some of the stars of the television show, like Dale or Glenn, or of course Rick Grimes. You have little tokens that are the actual survivors. You have pieces that you're going to use with plastic stands to move around the game board. And then you have these big tokens that say Team Survivor or Team Zombie, and I'm going to get to what those are for in a second. Just in the broadest strokes, because I'm not teaching you how to play the game right now, I'm just talking about what's in the box. What else is in the box? Okay, so one of the things that we did that was kind of unique in this product was that we created a game board on what's commonly referred to as playmat material, which is a printed rubberized material that rolls up like this. And what we did was we made the game board on this very cool playmat material, because we thought, hey, wouldn't it be great if you had a game that used a board that was virtually indestructible? I mean, this stuff, you're not going to be able to destroy this. And when you're playing games with friends, you got snacks, you got drinks, something could happen, you could spill on your game board. It's happened to a number of my game boards. So we thought, hey, this would be a really cool innovation, is to use the playmat material to make the game board. And we use those playmats in some of the other games that we use as promotional materials, like for the World of Warcraft trading card game, for instance. So we have our game board, beautiful art. Walking Dead includes, of course, a bunch of zombies. Because what's more important to the Walking Dead franchise than zombies? Nothing. The other pieces that come inside the box, you've got the stands. These are the stands that are a little plastic bag with stands. The stands are used with your survivor punch-outs. So once you pick out your character, you have the punch-out. You actually put the piece into the stand, and this becomes your token that you use to walk around the board. You've got a 6-sided die that's used as part of your movement. You have another plastic bag to keep components in. You've got little power-up tokens that go at each of the 4 corners of the board. You have several decks of cards. Pull these out. So these decks of cards, there are scrounge cards, encounter cards, and walker cards. Scrounge cards, So the great thing about this game is that we tried to create something that was going to be appealing to both hardcore gamers and to more casual gamers, because the thought was there are going to be lots of fans out there that have watched The Walking Dead, who know board games, who like board games, but maybe they aren't, the kind of person who'll sit down to play a 2+ hour board game experience, something with lots of resource management. And so we wanted to make a game that was accessible to that consumer, to that fan, and also still compelling for the hardcore gaming enthusiast, someone who did like strategy and who does like a game that really challenges you. So I think we really hit the sweet spot in terms of creating a product that does both of those things simultaneously. And one of the things that was most compelling about the Walking Dead franchise, for me at least in watching the television show, was the tension. It feels to me like everything is always about what's going to happen next. Where there's so much tension when you watch that show about the zombies appearing, or the running out of resources, or getting trapped. The zombies aren't fast, but they're everywhere. And so that idea that unless you're very well prepared, or unless you're making the best decision possible in any situation, you can get yourself into trouble, was, I think, very, very compelling. And so what we wanted to do with the board game, and I actually designed this board game, this is one of the ones I've designed, was to try to create that same sense of tension, where it starts off where you have lots of resources, you have lots of outs in terms of fighting the zombies, but as you move forward and as the game rolls on, you start to run out of cards, you start to run out of resources, and so every die roll, every spot you land on, every decision you make becomes more and more dramatic. And as the game rolls on, that drama gets ratcheted up until, when we played the game, we've demoed it at places like at PAX and Gen Con, people yelling because they're towards the very end and they just need a couple more spaces to get back to the objective, and they've run out of cards, they've got to roll a 6, and so it becomes very dramatic. So I think we've done a great job of having that drama come into it. And we'll talk about that later when we demo the game, about the scrounge cards, which are actually your resources, which represent things like shotguns, guns, axes, shortcuts. And so this is your resource that you're going to potentially run out of, and you got to be very careful with, or else you can get yourself into some real trouble. The other piece is that there are zombies, of course, because what's more important in this than zombies? Nothing, as I said before. And that's represented by the encounter cards. So as you move around this play space, you're going to actually be drawing encounter cards and running into zombies like the Hungry Walker. Each of them has a strength number that you're trying to overcome with rolling the dice or using cards. They all have abilities that trigger potentially when you fight them. What's great about this is that if you eventually lose, you're not out of the game. And so one of the things that I wanted to accomplish with this also is to represent the part of the program of the story where people turn into zombies, because that seems to be one of the things that's most sort of nightmarish and disturbing about it, is that someone you love, it's bad enough they've been killed by zombies, but then they turn into a zombie and become the enemy. And to me, that was very compelling and very interesting, and I thought from a gameplay perspective, it'd be something that would be very interesting to try to represent in this product. So one of the things that we have is that when you die in the game, if you were to lose, if the zombies were to kill you, you're not out of the game. You actually become a zombie. And so, and the zombies have a zombie deck, and you'll pull cards off the zombie deck, and your objective now is to kill all the other players. So it becomes a very different game for you. You're actually playing against the the survivors, and when you actually take out one of those survivors, the next person to die, say in a 4-player game, they become a zombie too, and now it's that's where these Team Survivor, Team Zombie tokens come in. Now it's zombies versus survivors, and it becomes this sort of head-to-head thing. So the game sort of changes from being every man for himself when it starts off. Every survivor's out to complete the objectives on his own and win the game. But when they die, they become zombies, and they start to work together as zombies. So it goes from being a head-to-head game to a cooperative game in some strange ways. And so that makes it, I think, pretty compelling, pretty different. And the feedback we've had from people is that they like the zombie play experience just as much as they like the first experience. So, being knocked out isn't really necessarily a bad thing. It just sort of changes your objective. And if you're the first zombie and you're able to kill everyone else, then you're the winner. You were the zombie that knocked out all the survivors. So we've got some really cool innovation in the game. It's based on a property that we're all absolutely in love with The Walking Dead. Again, if you're not watching it, you should be. And although if you're watching this video, I would find it hard to believe that you're not watching the TV show. You're a big enough fan of that property to watch a video about opening a box for the game, then you're probably watching the actual show. So we have all the components here. I think it's a tremendous value. I think you'll get a ton of fun out of it. I think it's something that you can bring friends over that may not be hardcore board gamers, and they'll still get a kick out of playing it. I think for your friends that are hardcore board gamers, including yourself, there's a ton of strategy, a ton of depth, a ton of excitement, and I'm looking forward to getting everyone else in here and showing you how to play the game. All right, thank you very much.